are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday. Tony, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, bud. Like you said, great Monday. A little slow start, I think, to this Monday. The heat maybe getting to us. Maybe it's as Eclipse coming. Who knows, dude? It's that Eclipse fever, Brian. But
should we just actually spend the whole show just talking about the eclipse, honestly, and our glasses and how we need to get like in good view of seeing it? Wouldn't that be fun?
I think that would be so much fun, dude. We should totally do that, dude. Do you have glasses?
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I think I kept mine from the last eclipse, actually.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, Tony, but you know what like today is the start of?
What today is
I'm trying to see if you're on your toes. Yes.
Oh,
very
gosh,
big week,
dude. Like Masters week? Is that what you're talking about, dude? All right.
At least, geez, I was a little worried that you were.
I know. Well, because I was like, well, what else is going on? I wouldn't know, but I'm like, no other sports.
And that should be followed by.
Oh, you want the music, dude?
I could just see the 18th green from here, Tony.
Wow.
Who's gonna be on the 18th on Sunday? Will it be Tiger? Who's it gonna be?
I think it's gonna be your guy, Scotty Scheffler.
What about Brooks?
No.
Finishing +8 in Miami.
Actually?
Over the weekend for Live.
Oh, no, that's tough, dude. In Miami?
Yeah.
What's the deal there? Think he was partying too hard?
It was funny. I saw an article about it, and I agree with this. Everyone's like, yeah, like I don't think that matters at all. Because he's always said it. He's all about the majors, the other tournaments. He's basically said he just doesn't care about.
That's kind of crazy. What do you feel about that? I mean, what kind of attitude is that? I mean, I understand obviously the majors are important, but he's basically saying, "Oh, I'm just playing for Live for the money. I don't care about anything, and then I'm just going to play hard for the majors."
Yeah, he is saying that. And I mean, hard to because like you think about the PGA Tour too. I mean, that is what you're going for, and I think any golfer in the world like would trade, let's say, winning 20 non-majors for winning 6 majors. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not win 14 tournaments. It's like all about preparing for those. You know, I did see something else Brooks was saying, and I think he said this before, but basically, if he didn't hurt his knee a couple years ago, he would have never moved to Live. But I feel like that's almost a tell that he doesn't necessarily love being there. And I think that was more just him like kind of looking out for his future because he was worried, you know, he wasn't going to be the Brooks Koepka. You know, we've seen that we've got to known, you know, since he started winning all these PGAs and US Opens, which is kind of interesting. So always love Masters Week, though. You know, Tiger's got some practice in, you know, over the weekend. So, of course, you know, Wednesday, you know, we'll do a full preview there. Do you feel like your mind hasn't changed? It is Scotty. I mean, there's nothing is going to change your mind. We pretty much can like cement it in that you're picking Scotty to win, pretty much.
Basically, yeah, for like the most part. He throw his shoulder out or anything, but yeah, for the most part, I would say I'm sticking with Scotty there. But Brian, if you were a golfer, let's say a professional golfer, would you rather like be the type of golfer who is so consistently good, you're winning other like secondary tournaments, whatnot, never win a major, or just captures lightning in a bottle one time, wins the Masters, and that's it?
It's so hard, but I feel like it's tough though if it's like you don't really make any money other than that. But that being said, I mean, I just feel like how do you trade anything for a green jacket? You know?
Wow.
I mean, it's an exclusive list.
Very exclusive list, dude. And then you know, get to pick the meal, dude.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, that's tough. I mean, I would probably lean Masters too, just because winning no majors. I mean, that's probably what everyone's going to talk about.
Yeah,
when they refer to your career.
Because even if you were disappointing the rest of the way, you're still looked at so much greater than if you didn't have that. Like you're still looked at as a legend. And the field for the Masters, 88 golfers is set after the win of Ashkay Bhatia in a playoff yesterday over Denny McCarthy. A one-hole playoff where Ashkay's birdie got the job done. And just what a week for Ashkay. 20 under par. And you think about him and McCarthy going into that playoff. Next closest golfer, Rory McIlroy at 11 under. So they were 9 shots clear of the field. So both of them dominating. You look at Ashkay, 63 in round 1, 70 in round 2, and then a 68 and 67 over the weekend. In addition to that birdie he had on the playoff hole 18th. So second career win for Ashkay, only 22 years old, and has really shown some ability early on in his PGA Tour career. And I think there was a lot of people questioning how he had skipped college golf altogether and had decided to become a pro. And here he is, only 22 years old with 2 PGA Tour victories. I feel like he kind of gets overlooked just because, of course, there's a lot of talented younger golfers on tour, as we speak, and obviously a little older than him, but of course, everybody's thinking about what Scotty's doing, this and that. And then Tom Kim has had a couple wins as well, slightly younger. What do you think here? You think this guy potentially, he could be big?
Yeah, I think so. You called it at the beginning of the year too to watch out for this guy. You were saying like he's a young talent to come to the tour here.
Yeah.
And honestly, watching his swing, it's very, very smooth, dude. Like it seems like he has a great tempo off the tee too. Absolutely rips it seems. And also I think that this also showed some of his like mental strength too this past weekend. In the playoff, the elimination, dude. And I want to say, was it who did McCarthy throw his shoulder out? Did you see that? No.
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I know you're talking about somebody did and played through it.
Yeah. I want to say it was,
or unless it was Bhatia. It might have been.
I don't think so. I feel like I would have.
But they kept playing though.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? Denny McCarthy.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see what we got.
No, I don't know.
No, maybe not. I know, I'm trying to see. Oh, it was Bhatia, dude.
I had a feeling. Yes,
I thought it was him getting because I do. And I remember him like with the trainer, something shoulder taped up. I think he dislocated his shoulder on like a fist bump, dude.
Oh wow!
Like a pump, I should say, not
crazy,
bump, but like
crazy
when you look at him, he seems like a very frail guy.
Yeah, no, I know. It's crazy that happened. It just adds to the legend of winning this tournament. So congratulations to him. Tough one for Denny McCarthy. But he's been near the top of leaderboards before. I'm sure, it'll be before long. He'll win another tournament here too. You had Rory finally have a strong performance. Again, inconsistent though. Opened up with 69 and 70, shot 72 on Saturday, but then, roared into contention yesterday with a 66 for a solo third. So I think, that's what he was looking for this tournament. I did expect him to have a good tournament, and finishing third is definitely that. But it's funny, Tony. My mind still doesn't change here. I just there are so many people that I would pick, this week to win the Masters over Rory. It seems like something is going to happen that's going to prevent him from, winning, his first major in 10 years. And then also, career, completing the career Grand Slam. I don't know what it is. But I guess it's just overall consistency. I guess that's the thing. And it's like, when he was so far behind on Sunday, I guess, sure, it's easy to shoot a 66, but what if he was one shot off the lead? Would he have had the same result? It's hard to really say that he would have,
Any chance he comes out firing? Gets the lead early and just kind of holds it. You don't think? No.
No way. But
where do you think he finishes?
I think he's gonna miss the cut.
Wow.
What about you?
I can see top 15.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play well, but not again. We've seen so many times where he does start out well and then just kind of blows it. Like day two comes out, different golfer even, or any sign of like, some pressure maybe from, another golfer gaining some strokes on him. It seems like he chokes a little bit. So I can't see it.
Interesting question for you here. If it wasn't Scotty, who would it be in your mind?
That's a great question. I mean, I guess I would go with like an Aubert or something, or Victor Hovland even.
Victor Hovland would be interesting.
Because I feel like if it's not Scotty, it's going to be a younger talent, someone new.
You just think because like he's fat and happy now and live no way Rahm back to back.
I think fat and happy is a good way to describe him.
Makes the cut outside the top 20. Yeah,
definitely.
And then who do you think finishes higher, Phil or Tiger?
Gosh, I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like Phil.
And he hasn't been playing great either, but obviously what he did last year,
I know.
Comfortable with the course. He won there before. I mean, I think there is something to
and
that.
He's certainly someone who seems to thrive on competition too.
Yeah, that's true.
Technically, still healthier than Tiger, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I just there's nothing like Masters week. Really looking forward to watching a lot of the coverage. And just so many former champs in the field, and I've like just so many questions, like so many guys that have won before, competed there before, kind of struggling now. I mean, one guy that comes to mind, like Jordan Spieth, this tournament he ends up finishing tied for 10th, which is great for him. But recently, he hasn't played great. Does he have a shot to win again at Augusta? That's a question that has to be asked. Adam Scott also has won the Masters before. He was tied 14th this week. What's he going to look like out there? Max Homa, we've been waiting a while for him. He was tied 25th this week. Can he win a major finally? Further down the list here, guys, like Webb Simpson, it's been a long time since he's, won a major. Does he have a shot? So there's just so many different things, to consider here. Cam Smith, who I think had an illness in Miami and had to withdraw from LIV. He won the Open, didn't win any majors last year, but competed in a couple. Does he have a shot to win a green jacket? Dustin Johnson, haven't heard his name in a while.
Yeah, really.
Does he recapture the magic? There's just so many different guys you think of in terms of what they're going to do, what they're going to look like out there. So definitely going to be a great tournament, and I'm really excited to watch and to do an extensive preview.
Hell yeah.
Wednesday.
I know like you said, extensive preview Wednesday, but if you had to choose one LIV golfer that you think could take it.
Well, so this is what I'm going to say. I already have Brooks locked in, so that was my guy. But if I was going to say another one, honestly, I would probably go with Cam Smith. Just
okay, I like that.
Rahm, I don't know. Yeah. I think he hasn't been dialed, and I just think Cam showed last year it didn't matter. He competed in these majors.
You're confident in Brooks still, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's just something about a major. You know what I mean? It's just like that finish in Miami. He doesn't. I think honestly, what do you think? You think most of these guys, other than the extensive money that they have now on LIV, do you think they're kind of miserable in a way?
I don't know about miserable, but
they're just earning for that like sense of competition. Like,
I think
they're not
so,
excited.
Dude.
They're excited to drink at these tournaments in all seriousness.
No, honestly, dude. And I feel like if they look at, which I'm sure they do watch PGA coverage still, but if you go to the hell what is the tournament in Arizona?
TBC Scottsdale, the waste management.
Yeah. Like seeing a tournament like that where it's just like packed crowd, dude. Even what to expect from the travelers and stuff like that. Like, I mean, all these tournaments just attract way more people than LIV. I mean, look at the LIV coverage. You see people walking around and there's barely any.
Well, at least they can wear shorts and listen to music, though, right?
Yeah, I guess it's sick, dude. I mean, come on. I mean, it's probably sick to go there because you can probably, get a beer quick and, find your favorite golfer and follow him the whole time with no issues. But it's like, it's a little sad, dude.
It is. And actually, John Rahm too had some comments saying that he thinks they should go to 72 holes for the tournaments. So I think that's telling, Tony, that he's mentioning that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So it'll be an interesting week. Definitely excited for it. And like I said, we'll talk about more on Wednesday. Before we move forward here, a bunch of comments from Mr. Bhatia.
Let's go! Early and often, Michael says, "What up, boys? Purdue isn't ready for what's coming, dude."
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in 1 second.
Of
but
course,
I definitely agree there.
And of course, we have Josh B. also in the house. Fam, what up? Unfortunately, I'm in a work meeting. Hopefully, it's a quick one. See you after. SGTC, Sports, SGTV.
Josh B.
Pretty funny, dude. In the work meeting, still commenting, dude.
Yes.
Love to see that. Kev Do with a big let's go as well. He wants the smoke, dude. And Michael Buckton says Spence is going to be everywhere. Klingon is going to be blocking people and dunking all over the paint. And Newton, Caravan, and Castle will help Spence out with the threes. UConn wins 96-92, dude.
Wow, a little closer.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, what are we like? No one's missing a shot here. 96-92.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And he also says Barnes. How about the Stanton Grand Salami yesterday, dude?
It was a big one,
he
Michael.
Tattooed the fuck out of that ball.
It was a big one.
And then he also mentions Tony Mets with a couple good wins this week, he says.
Kind of interesting. Boomer had said it, I think, Friday morning, that it's like the Mets, all they needed to do was just run from Citi Field, get on the road, and they played some decent ball, win 2 out of 3. I mean, I know, we'll talk about it, but obviously that doesn't change everything for you or anything, Tony.
Right.
But I mean, the goal in baseball is to win series, so I think they did accomplish that. So I think that is something positive, honestly. And I think the Reds have a better roster, to be honest. So to win,
the Reds are competitive for sure. We'll talk about it, but it's still not great.
And then Michael Butkus is saying, by the way, we can't forget Buster Olney.
What about Buster Olney? What did he do?
I think I brought it up about remember we were saying, about Riley with the report about Judge's shoulder.
Oh, yeah,
or something, whatever it was.
Funny.
So I think that's why he mentioned that. But yeah, so just wanted to mention, obviously, UConn on Saturday, advancing to the national championship game. And really, Tony, kind of textbook from what we've seen out of UConn. The tight game early. It was a 4-point game at the half. They were even trailing for, I don't know, maybe half of the first half. And then really, cementing their spot in the championship game second half, outscoring Bama by 10, winning 86-72. Led by Castle's 21 points. And then, of course, contributions all over the board here. You had Klingon with 18, Caravan with 14, Spencer with 14, and Newton with 12. So another national championship game for UConn. And this is the matchup we want to see. Obviously, Purdue easily handling NC State on Saturday, which, wasn't too much of a surprise. Obviously, NC State, good story, all of that. But I think we've seen over the course of this season, that Purdue and UConn had hands down the top 2 teams in the nation. Edey had 20 points, 12 boards in that national semifinal. And then, of course, tonight's national championship game between UConn and Purdue, hoping to be a good one. And I do think, again, at the very least, we will get a tight, Tony, first half. And then, but I still think, maybe it's not a 20-point win, but I do think they will ultimately still end up winning by 10. Any scenario in your mind here, as 7.5-point favorites, that it is like a chance that they could even lose, or like that's going to come down to the last shot? I mean, what's your vision here?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's so tough to try and say that UConn's going to lose here. I mean, I guess if anyone could do it, it would be Purdue. I love that guy Edey's story. He talked about being recruited during high school.
The Canadian NIL.
Yep.
Catastrophe.
And it's like, even though, he's always this tall in high school. So obviously he always looked at, always went to the camps, but all the big schools, avoided him. UConn, Duke, Nova, always wanted to play there, never got the recognition. Now he can put it in their faces and rub it in. Look at him. So you love that comeback underdog story, but I don't know, dude. I think UConn is just too good here.
Yeah.
The other pieces that Purdue has, they can probably put up a fight, keep it close, probably cover.
7 so
I think they can cover.
Really?
Yeah, I think I can see UConn winning by 5.
I mean, I'm pretty sure UConn has covered
every
game
single game
tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, but come on, dude.
What?
I don't know. I feel like some of the matchups. I think Purdue's a step up, certainly than Alabama. Come on.
Nate Oates, the former Buffalo coach. I mean, one of the best coaches in America. No?
Really, dude?
No?
Yeah, it doesn't. Come on, you need the players on the court.
So you're very confident in a single-digit win here.
Yeah, I would say very confident in a single-digit win. Yeah.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I think a battle early, but then I just feel like there's some, 10-0 run, 15-2 run. And just the fact, too, it's like for UConn, for instance, this game, I mean, of course, they're going to be honed in on Edey, probably some double teams.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like for Purdue, I mean, who are you double teaming? Like,
exactly.
It doesn't, like, they can beat you inside, they can beat you outside, they can beat you with your first unit, your second unit, maybe even your third unit. I mean, it's really remarkable how dominant they've been. And this 2-year stretch, I think, modern history, probably one of the best we've ever seen. And it's specifically in UConn history. I mean, they haven't gone back-to-back before. So it's just amazing what Dan Hurley.
UConn men's team never have?
No.
Oh, wow.
Because they won in 99, 04, 11, 14, and then last year, 2023.
Yeah.
So then this year, 2024. But I think we can agree at the end of the day when Ian Eagle is making his first call as the lead analyst, our lead play-by-play for a Final Four, he's going to be saying that for the second consecutive year, the UConn Huskies are champs.
And you think by double digits, you say?
Yeah, I think I look at this, so total 145, UConn 7.5. So I would say UConn wins this. We're going to go 78-65.
78-65. Okay.
So that's an over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
70 plus 60, right, is 130.
Right.
And you had 8 and 5, which is 13. So it's 143.
145.5. It's under.
It's an under, dude. Michael Buckta, his head is spinning right now. He's
talking in the 90s. I mean, that would be crazy if we get that. But
yeah, that would be really crazy. But I mean, there's gonna be some defense here. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like some nerves to start off too, maybe kind of slow, maybe some teams missing some shots,
Yeah.
And then people settle in. He also says Ian Eagle stinks, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does a good job. I
think he does an admirable job.
It's the Nets. Maybe he doesn't like him because he's the Nets play-by-play guy.
Oh, yeah, maybe that makes sense.
But, I mean, yes, Michael, was Nance better? I mean,
of course.
Nance is always better. I mean, Nance is always the answer. And I think he's going to be doing the trophies presentation.
Wait, really?
I think so. I think he had said that last year. Wait, did he? One more comment? I can't see here with the cameras.
Nance is the man.
Nance is the man. He knows Jimmy Nance, dude.
Jimmy Nance.
If you had to say, Tony, for you with Nance, which I know he doesn't do March Madness anymore,
right.
but like what do you think he is like? You just when you think of him, what do you think he's the best at? Is it NFL? Is it is it the golf, or is it the March Madness?
It's so tough. If I don't know. I mean, I guess March Madness is okay. Nothing crazy for me ever, I guess. I mean, obviously pumped up, but I guess I would say the Masters.
Yeah, like of course he does all the NFL stuff, but just something about him announcing the Masters and like just the tone that Masters tone that he has.
There's a little bit of an art to it, dude.
Yeah, there really is.
So sick.
Really is. So I'm looking to that. And how about Vern Lundquist is Tony last Masters too? He had retired from college football, college basketball a couple years ago, but I think it's like his 50th Masters or something. Like he just is in the 18th tower. Who he is, right?
Yes, I do, of course.
So yeah, that's exciting stuff. One last footnote here. So of course, I hope we're recapping a UConn back-to-back scenario tomorrow. I mentioned to you off air, Calipari looks like he's the next coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, leaving Lexington after 15 seasons. Obviously, disappointment recently. I was surprised by that, but I think it's just one of those things where they kind of force him out, and then he probably is like, oh, well, I'd love to stay in the SEC and show Kentucky that they're making a mistake here. I mean, is that?
Yeah, apparently Jerry Jones had a big influence on him going there.
Okay.
Jerry Jones' alma mater, dude.
Yes.
So interesting.
And I don't know, but don't you think he's over the hill? Like, I don't
Jerry
know.
Jones or
No, well, yeah, of course Jerry Jones, but Calipari, I think he's 65, 66, hasn't won a title, I think, since Anthony Davis was in Kentucky.
Jeez. Yeah, dude, that is kind of tough. But I mean, I feel like I don't know what's the program he's going into. Like, are they set up to?
I don't think they've been that good. I mean, you don't think of Arkansas basketball as like some powerhouse. Obviously, SEC is a good conference.
I don't know. Maybe you think him, getting hired there brings in more recruits,
probably than what they would have had. So it'll be interesting. Maybe he's motivated.
How many more years do you think he has?
I mean, probably what? Maybe 65, 66, you would think 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not like that long of a term of thing. But obviously, I'm sure he's just going to want to hit the ground running.
Yeah, he could try to win a championship within 5 years.
We had one more comment slide in there.
Yes, we did have one more slide in there, Brian. It is from Michael Bukta, and he says NFL is his best. He says,
but I feel like, does Michael watch golf? I feel like he doesn't. No,
I want to say he does not watch golf.
So I'm just telling you, Michael, this is your homework assignment. I want you to listen to all of Jim Nance's Masters Call. And just how he welcomes everybody to Augusta National. Terrible video, don't
like really bad actually.
So don't pay attention to that, but
honestly,
just look it up, Michael. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed in Nance at the Masters.
Also terrible video. Those are pretty good.
The tone, the voice.
Unlike any other, dude. He said it.
All right. So actually, I have to say, I am mistaken. A bad season this year, and I'm guessing that he must have got fired.
Zona?
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas. Sorry. That's right.
But the previous 3 seasons, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Elite 8.
Oh,
so kind of interesting.
Okay.
Fired their coach. So yeah, I guess. I mean, looking at that, then I guess they do have a good opportunity. And the reason, kind of more why I was bringing this up, there was some chatter. Rick and Dave, I think we're talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Is that there's some rumors that Kentucky is going to offer Dan Hurley like some massive contract. And I don't know. Is he really going to go? I just don't think he's going to Kentucky. No
way, dude.
And Musselman took the job at USC. Okay, so that's why he left. But yeah, I just think he's a Northeast guy. He's had tons of success. I mean, obviously, Kentucky can offer him, a lot of money. But okay, so it doesn't say that he was fired, huh? I'll have to look that up further, but I just don't think, Kentucky's struggled the last couple of years, and don't you think too, because of all the money, especially winning back-to-back titles, that makes a school that there's no way that UConn's not going to just pay Hurley whatever. I mean, I don't know, unless Kentucky's going to give him $30 million a year. Like, I don't know.
You think they would? No.
I don't think he wants to leave, though. I think there's no way Dan Hurley wants to leave UConn. Back-to-back titles.
Even for the money.
Because I just feel like they're going to give him more money.
Oh yeah, true. UConn probably would. I mean, what's UConn going to be looking like next year? Are they graduating a lot of guys? Do you know?
They're definitely going to lose some guys, but I think another strong recruiting class coming in, and we've just seen with Hurley. I mean, kind of did it with a completely different team than last year. Sure, there was a couple holdovers, but I just think it doesn't matter, Tony. Whatever schools he's given. So would you say a 0%? Like he's staying. He's UConn coach for life. Like he's not going anywhere. From the Northeast area.
Yeah, I guess so. If they win, it's a lock.
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
Yeah, those were kind of just a couple interesting things I just wanted to mention. But let's move along here to the world of Major League Baseball.
Pujols hits one in the air. It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Yep.
And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight. And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Throw deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So another successful weekend for the New York Yankees. Unfortunately, when we were at the stadium, they did lose on Friday, getting shut out 3-0, but bounced back with two big wins over the weekend, winning 9-8 Saturday, 8-3 on Sunday. Before we get to that, just want to bring in Tony. Overall thoughts, the home opener for the Yankees, Billies, the whole ordeal. I mean, what were your thoughts? The center field, standing area. What were your thoughts?
Dude, I had a freaking great time. Not gonna lie. I mean, literally, obviously, the train, the commute there is a little bit easier, comparing to City Field, obviously.
Pelham, dude?
Even though that I think worked out really nicely.
But obviously, getting off right there.
Right. Getting off right there, it does make a lot of the difference, you know.
Yes.
And then you're going to Billy's. Billy's obviously is just like a freaking warehouse, dude. It's huge. You know, it's so, and it was packed out in there. So much fun, honestly, just navigating the crowd. We were chilling in that spot outside, which was so nice.
Can't beat
the
patio.
Train going back and forth right there, too. Obviously, the beers, dude. What a time. And then, from there going to the stadium, which I feel like we timed it perfectly. Like, we literally, everything kind of laid down into place here. Because we go standing room, and we're sitting dead center, dude.
Yeah.
And it was sick, dude. I think, like, such a great spot. I didn't mind, standing at all.
Right.
And again, we literally watched every pitch, dude. It was just a great spot to stand and watch the game, dude.
Yeah, and I just feel like too sometimes, like especially I'm sure obviously opening day, like most seats are filled. It's like it's so much better to stand there to them being the upper deck, and then maybe it's tight. You got people sitting on both sides.
Yeah,
but I'd rather just be comfortable, and you're definitely going to be so much more comfortable that way. So yeah, I thought the view was great. It was just a great day, overall. A little chilly. Obviously, we had some sun spots, but without the sun, definitely a little chilly. But it seems like we're getting past that, especially starting with tomorrow, going to be great weather. So, it was unfortunate that, that day they just didn't have it offensively, had some chances early against Kikuchi, couldn't capitalize. So really the only positive in terms of on the field there was Stroman's performance. I thought he looked outstanding. I mean, you probably had to be pretty impressed.
Do you think if they didn't take him out, and let's say they let him go another inning, because they took him out after 6, no?
They did take him out after 6.
And I mean, then that reliever, I forget who the reliever came in was, but right away he was giving up hits. He gave up that solo shot, right?
Was it Caleb Ferguson?
I want to say it was Ferguson. It was definitely Ferguson.
It says he had got the loss here.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know, it is a trickle down effect with you kept the other team off the board. That's going to motivate the offense. But at the same time, they're not going to feel pressure being down runs. But it just seemed like for whatever reason, I mean, they got 6 hits, in the game overall. Volpe, who else, having the 2 hits, but then, just a bunch of singles, 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, 7 left on base, 11 strikeouts. It just seems like for whatever reason, that just wasn't their day offensively. So I don't think it necessarily would have mattered. And you look at it, in terms of pitches, Stroman threw 98. So you're not going to press him past 100 pitches, second start of the season. So you understand that, but you feel really good that, I mean, over the course of the first 2 starts, he's been the most consistent pitcher. And, of course, you don't consider him your ace. And obviously it's a little different, with Cole being out, Nestor not pitching well, of course, either. But he's been very consistent. I mean, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Bullpen ran into a little trouble with Ferguson, with Santana, who pitched very well yesterday. And then, Verdugo giving it a ride there at the end as we're about to walk to head to Enzo's, Tony. Tough that he couldn't put that one in the seats.
Dude, I know that would have been sick. And you had 2 on, it would have tied the game.
Would have tied the game. But
like, oh.
it's just, you know what? It just wasn't meant to be. And we saw over the weekend this team's ability, one game at a time, to bounce back. You have a tough loss, you get right back out there. And you think about it last week when, they got shut out by Arizona, second game of that series. They come back, day game after night game, multiple comebacks, extra inning home runs, overcoming errors. I mean, it just seems like whatever obstacle comes their way, they're not too affected by it. So it was nice that this game, by the time Saturday rolled around, was a distant memory. And before we get to that, Enzo, as we were talking about before the show, unbelievable.
One of the best meals I've had in a pretty long time, dude. Not gonna lie,
dude.
The pork brajol over cavatelli. Oh my gosh, dude, it was so freaking good. I literally could have eaten so much of that brajol.
Yeah, and the one little piece I had, I thought that was like unbelievable. I had no idea that I even liked brajol. Now it's definitely on the short list.
Let's go, dude.
The calamari was great.
Yes, it was.
The stuffed artichoke, first time having that.
Good,
that was really good. And the dessert, Tony. I know what was it?
An affogato.
Oh,
so
my God.
good, dude.
Yeah. And then I had the rainbow cookie cheesecake. That was great.
Oh.
The bread, the wine, right? The wine was good.
The house cab, dude, delicious.
I just feel like on Arthur Ave, house cab, I mean, it just seems like every restaurant, no matter who it is, they're just on the button with that.
Honestly.
Must be a common thing. They're prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just Arthur Ave is just the best. And oh my God. Like, same exact meal right now. Hammer it, even though it's 10:48.
Yeah, easily, dude. Easily.
Yeah, so that was great. And I forgot too. Had you been to specifically Enzo's?
No, never.
Okay,
Enzo's.
So what place was it that you remember?
Jeez, no, not
was it
even
Mario's?
I have to ask my mother.
Dominic's?
Probably Dominic's
like
if I had to guess, I guess. But
yeah, we'll have to bring her in on that.
Yeah, I'll ask my mother.
But yeah, looking forward to continuing the Arthur Ave tour, the rest of this season. And then other than that, I mean, after that, it was pretty much next stop Harrison.
Dude.
Yeah, that was just such a fun day. And I can't wait to go to many more games this season. And I will be in the building, like I mentioned last week, for tomorrow's game. So excited for that. Should get some
see you at the stadium
good
today,
weather. Rodon versus AJ Puck should be a good one, Tony. So excited for that. But moving along here, Saturday, kind of crazy. They win 9-8. So an absolute shootout here. You had Clark Schmidt versus Kevin Gaussman, and Gaussman getting lit up like a Christmas tree early here. First inning, Judge and Stanton going yard. So that made it 3-0. Judge a 2-run homer, Stanton with a solo shot. Second inning, Glaber with a sac fly to score Volpe, made it 4-0. Austin Wells scoring on a pass ball to make it 5-0. And then Juan Soto, RBI single, made it 6-0 after 2. Jays would get a couple back against Clark, who, again, I'm not big on Clark. I'm sorry. I hope he ends up pitching better, but just seems to me, Tony, just like a very hittable pitcher. Maybe not quite batting practice, but not that much, above that. You know what I mean? I just feel like he gives them a lot of hits. In this one, 6 hits over 4 1/3, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Did manage to keep the ball in the ballpark. So we were 6-2 after 4. Anthony Rizzo with a home run, his first of the year, made it 8-2, a 2-run shot. Juan Soto, an RBI single in the 6th, made it 9-3. But then the 7th, Yankees run into a little trouble. Luke Weaver kind of serving up batting practice. He went 2 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, but he did end up picking up the win in this one. Victor Gonzalez had a clean inning in the 3rd, but then Ian Hamilton, who had been lights out in his previous couple outings, struggled in this one. 2 hits, 3 runs allowed in only 2/3 of an inning. But fortunately, the Yankees hold on here. 9-8. Clay Holmes summoned from the bullpen for his 4th save of the season. And the Yankees win that game 9-8. And then we were on to yesterday. And in this game, featuring a pitching matchup of Luis Gil and Bowden Francis, the Yankees getting to Francis early after giving up a run on a walk. Gil definitely a little wild yesterday. 4 2/3, 2 runs, 2 hits, 4 walks, but did have the 8 strikeouts. So looking electric once again. So that was the top ever of the 30 walks in a run. But bottom half, the Yankees walking a run themselves to tie the game at 1. Giancarlo Stanton coming up, bases juiced, 2 outs, Tony. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, inner third, and just absolutely hammers it. They mentioned how Dalton Varsho, who is still struggling at the plate for our fantasy teams, respectively, didn't even look to see he just. I mean, it's gone. So great to see that out of Stanton. He also had a good game, on Saturday with the home run. So maybe there's some thoughts with him, starting to heat up. That would be outstanding. Now has 3 homers on the season. That was his only hit yesterday, but hitting 292, but 3 homers here in the early going. It was on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, but it was in. So I think, he's had trouble with inner pitches. But I have to say, I still feel like I need to see more out of him. It was great to see that yesterday in a big spot. So you're happy about that. But 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts.
Yep.
And for you, because I know this is how I feel, I need to see him late in the game hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball into the seats. That's what I really need to see, because I feel like we know he can hit 93, but can he catch up to 97?
Yeah, no, I totally agree there. And I mean, also it's, like you say, he's batting 219, the 3 homers so far in the first, however many games we're in right now, the 8, 9,
10 games.
10 games in.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's a good
great
pace.
Yeah, that's a great pace there. But I mean, the biggest thing we're looking for is average.
Right.
Right.
I feel like to
improve, dude. Yeah, bring down the strikeouts.
How about that strikeout he had that we saw? No, I sort of got it. It seemed like, the show when you almost swing after the pitch is delivered.
Yeah.
That's what it looked
literally. And I know we obviously didn't have a great eye for the pitches there, but dude.
You guys didn't want to listen to me. I kept saying, guys, it looks different. Mark was so out of it. No, these are strikes. These are strikes. But I mean, but what would you say though, relative to Stanton here? I mean, is good, because obviously there's been some ugly, but up to this point, I mean, is it kind of as much as you could have hoped for? I mean, 3 homers in 10 games and hitting over 200 after hitting 190.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good to look at. The home runs, the weight loss, obviously. He's even played the field already, I believe, right? He started a game in the outfield yet?
I didn't know he did. I didn't think he did, but I could have missed that one as well.
I thought we talked about it. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, it does look like he's trying at least to get back to being a freaking baseball player.
Right.
So yeah, I think that there, like you said, some more to be desired, but I mean, I would say his stock is trending upward, right? I mean,
yeah, definitely. Dude. So no, and I hope we see more, because it is really fun to watch when he's demolishing baseballs. It's just unfortunately, it hasn't been as much as we would have liked since he came over and after the 2017 season. So we'll see if this propels him in back-to-back games. That's a good sign. We'll see if he's in the lineup tonight and if he can continue upon that. But back to this game, that made it 5-1. Really gave the Yankees some breathing room. Gil giving up a double to Bichette, which ended his evening. So unfortunately, not being able to go deep into the game. But I think the 8 strikeouts, the stuff, you still feel really good about Luis Gil, and really. Through these first couple turns in the rotation, probably has been the second best pitcher behind Marcus Stroman. And then, we were into the bullpen. Jake Cousins, did we talk about how he's Kirk Cousins' cousin?
We did not talk about
He actually is. I know it's one of those things haha, he's his cousin, but he actually is his cousin, which is kind of ironic. So he ended up picking up the win in this one. Did let up a run there to make the game 5-2. Or 5-3 actually. And then the Yankees with some insurance runs scoring on a wild pitch. Anthony Volpe, who is on fire. It's absolutely ridiculous. 3 for 4 yesterday, hitting a robust 424.
Wow.
You had Oswaldo Cabrera single to make it 7-3, and then Juan Soto with a sac fly in the 8th to make it 8-3. Dennis Santana gave up some runs when we went to the game. Looked good in this one. 1 2/3 inning, 2 strikeouts to pick up his first save as a Yankee. And here we are, 3 series in. The Yankees have won all of them. They're 8-2. Pretty much, I mean, once, if you think back to the opener, from that point on, I mean, I think everything has gone according to plan here.
Yeah, literally. It is kind of funny that one game we were at, they just couldn't find their bats. But
yeah,
like, what do they score? 14 runs in the next 2 games, right?
So
17 runs. 8 and 9, dude.
Of
Kinda
course,
crazy,
it works
dude.
out like that. Of
Yeah,
course.
so outrageous.
And I point to the fact too that like Judge hasn't gotten going really. Rizzo, like, he hit the home run the other day, but still, he hasn't popped off yet. Verdugo's done nothing. He's hitting 143. Austin Wells is hitting 150. It's like you couple that with everybody, like Soto, like Volpe, like Glaber, who, had 2 hits in this game. It seems like he's kind of starting to get going as well. It's just like you think about what this offense can be. I mean, it's scary.
Yeah, no, it is super scary, and I feel like that they really haven't reached their full potential yet. So that's what's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you had to say, Tony, I mean, I know very short sample size here. When it comes down to it, from what you've seen so far, are you thinking there's going to be a Stanton resurgence?
Yeah, I think so. If I had to guess now, it does. Like I said, it's trending that way.
But you feel like it's more going to be like him just recognizing mistakes versus like him like actually, hitting 98 up in the zone? Is it going to be like pitches like we saw yesterday, like that are kind of medium velocity?
Yeah, I think so. I think what you'll see, I mean, I think he'll continue to hit, powerfully. Maybe recognizing those pitches, bringing down the strikeouts, but most importantly, I just feel like making himself available is probably, I feel like you're going to be your biggest improvement for him, which is really going to make him more valuable. And then again, like, I mean, I know he's, he's on a heavy pace now, but you never know, but I mean, easily, like I would between 30 and 35 home runs at least at this point.
And
right?
What are we
like,
thinking average? We're at what, 219?
We said. I don't know, man. 245 maybe,
which doesn't seem bad.
It doesn't. Honest. It's really not.
I know it's different from what we grew up knowing, but yeah. So if we get that, I will be ecstatic. That's for sure. So interesting to see what'll happen. And I know DJ LeMahieu is actually making his way back.
But that LeMahieu.
How do you think DeGrasso, like if I were to get a hold of him, I guess it wouldn't. It's
without LeMahieu.
But if let's just say hypothetically, I got a hold of him today. Like, how do you think? Like, if I led with like the LeMahieu imitation,
like if you called in, you're saying,
like, I guess instead of went the apology route, just went the like, Dan. I mean, has your opinion changed? Like, Yankees. I mean, it seems like you're doing a great job without LeMahieu.
Yeah.
How do you think he would? Do you think you would know right away that I was imitating him or no?
I feel like he definitely would know right away. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes though he does like the back and forth. So I think he would keep you on the line and have a conversation. Honestly, dude. I really do. I'm
really like dying to do it, like record it. Like,
oh my God, it's so funny.
So ridiculous.
Without LeMahieu.
And I was actually just looking that up here. Let's see. So
Gross's show?
It says that he took batting practice for the first time since the right foot contusion. He still has to add to his list of baseball activities before he's be able to begin rehab games. He's running about 90%. And he didn't put a timeline on it, but he said he's anticipating not needing a lot of time to return once he gets the green light. So you would think that means in the next couple of weeks, but as Waldo, I think he's hitting over 300 right now. Like once he is available, Tony, I mean, what would you ease into it? Kind of do like a timeshare? You Cabrera hitting 333 in the early going. I mean, how would you work LeMahieu back into the lineup?
Oh, it's so tough, dude.
Or is he like? Would you say, listen, right now, Cabrera's earned it. You're going to be our utility guy.
I mean, again, as much as you feel bad, you want to give him the shot. I mean, I don't think it's worth it to do even a timeshare because that could mess up Cabrera's flow or whatever, and you don't want to mess with that. So I think you got to tell DJ to sit down. Yeah, man.
Wow.
Right? What would you do?
Yeah, but it's like, like guys are going to get days off. And
yeah, certainly.
Maybe against lefties you would do that because Cabrera, even though he's technically still a switch hitter, has been batting mostly lefty. And I think that's why he's gotten better results. He's just not a good right-handed hitter. I mean, it's like one of those things like you might want to just give it up type of thing. So, yeah, I think ease into it, see what happens. I mean, and also, too, I mean, you would think Verdugo will, start hitting. I think his batting average on balls in play is like a career low. But if he doesn't, I mean, technically you could always try, doing Cabrera and left, sitting Verdugo down a little bit and then seeing what LeMahieu has. But I mean, we've talked about him a lot. I mean, even right. I mean, you really can't envision something where he comes back like first month he's hitting 300. Like no way,
no, I don't think so,
and maybe a re-aggravation.
Dude.
I mean, the only good thing with him is like he could play first too. So we need to give Rizzo a rest.
No, yeah, you love the utility guy. I mean, he is a great utility. I mean, there's utility guys out there, like let's say Joey Wendell, for example, who really like isn't the best at any position really in the infield. But I feel like DJ, you could really throw him like second base, first base, third base, so comfortable.
Right.
Right,
exactly. So yeah, the versatility is nice. And hopefully he surprises us. Honestly, maybe there's some justification there with Graca if he, is on fire when he comes back. But it's just something that we're not expecting. But nevertheless, Tony, I am jacked up. I can't wait to be back at the stadium tomorrow and can't wait to watch the game tonight. We're going to see Nestor Cortez matched up with a Tony personal favorite, Jesus Luzardo.
Dude.
The Marlins 1-9, finally getting their first victory, I think, yesterday over the Cardinals. I think it was 10-3. So, I mean, an opportunity here for a sweep. And then let's see what happens. Obviously, the Marlins are going to give it their all. I'm excited. Tomorrow is going to be Rodon versus AJ Buck. So I think, we have the advantage in these pitching matchups. So really, and also too, if Nestor is going to like kind of settle down, you would think this would be the start. I mean, the Marlins just have not been scoring runs. I mean, when you look at this too, this spot for Nestor, for you to feel good about him moving over, is there any kind of benchmarks in this outing that you're looking for?
Nestor?
Yeah.
Length. Really?
But I mean, what is, just a hypothetical stat line here that you would say, okay, I mean, that's a step in the right direction?
I would say 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, a walk.
Be outstanding.
That would be outstanding. I don't care about the strikeouts. 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
but even if it's
solid,
2,
sure.
Get through more innings, less pitches.
Honestly.
So yeah, that's the thing. I think we're gonna score tonight. But it's just like what is Nestor gonna look like? So hopefully he has a good performance here, and it should be a nice evening there.
Kind of crazy about Miami's start, by the way.
I know. And Skip Schumacher won the Manager of the Year award last season.
Yeah.
They were thinking about an extension, and then they're saying, "Oh, well, maybe if things go off the rails here, he could get fired."
Kind of crazy how quick the
but it is because we don't know. We're not in the inside, but it does seem like though a lot of times there's like these ridiculously surprising, awful starts. A lot of times it is because the manager has lost the clubhouse.
Really?
But no, I'm saying I don't know. About
saying
this,
that,
isn't that usually the case? Girardi, how are you?
Yeah, very true, dude. Wow.
Right now, for the Mets. Like, would you swap out Mendoza for Girardi?
Yeah.
Old Joe.
Yeah, honestly, dude. I mean, obviously the Phillies thing makes you kind of maybe think
nervous,
twice.
but then maybe a vendetta against the Phillies.
Perhaps, honestly, maybe.
Yeah.
And then come back in, pumped up.
Been in New York before.
Yeah, dude. Because right now Mendoza just
a good segue too. I mean, we talked about it. The Mets also taking 2 out of 3 this weekend. What do we got here, Tony? I mean, anything to be somewhat excited about over the weekend?
I mean, yeah, certainly. I mean, you said it too. I mean, at the end of the day, your job is to win series.
Right.
You did do
Good
exactly
team
that.
The Reds are expected to be a playoff team.
You look at the day Friday here. It was pretty solid. I believe Quintana started Friday.
Yeah, 5 2/3, 1 earned.
That was probably a theme over the course of the weekend. Obviously, starting pitching did better in terms of not giving up as much runs. However, I don't think anyone went 6 innings. Because I want to say Sevy, we'll get into it too. He pitched, I think, 5 innings too. But Quintana there still 5 2/3. You mentioned the 1 earned run, 4 walks. I think that what the issue with Quintana here, 5 hits. That's really, I think, where it dials down to. I feel like his stuff, his off-speed pitches, the attempt at throwing the fastball. I mean, it's just all very hittable. And then he starts to pitch around the batter's box, make pitchers or batters, chase. And that's where you start walking people. That's where the 4 walks come into. So I don't know, man. I think he needs to. What is he? 33? Might be 35.
I think, or 36.
Come on,
Tony.
really? He's that old? Let's see what we got going on here. He is 35 years old. I don't know, man. I'm just watching his pitches. It just doesn't look very effective. And I'm like, at that age, I don't know if he is going to be that effective. So I don't know, man. It really worries me for him. But speaking of that, he, as I mentioned, he went to 5 2/3. Give up 1 run early on, the first inning home run too, which is, again, it seems like a theme with Mets pitchers the past couple of years. Got to figure that out. But in the top of the 5th, you had Lindor hitting a sac fly, RBI to center field. Tyrone Taylor was on base, who scored from third. Lindor, we'll get to him too. He had a first dinger, I think Saturday, or maybe it was yesterday. It doesn't matter. But nonetheless, not a great start to the season offensively. Taylor's been doing a good job though. And then you had top of the 7th, Alonso grounded into a fielder's choice. And there was an error, I believe, as well. But Harrison Bader ended up scoring, which made it 2-1 at that point. And then top of the 8th, McNeil hit his first home run. Pretty emphatic one too, which made it 3-1. And bottom of the 9th, Reds tried to kind of come back, but they ended up not being able to. And the Mets ended up winning 3-2. As I said, the offense, okay, I guess, at the end of the day. I mean, you want to look at the box score for the team. 4 hits, 3 runs, certainly more offense than, they had before. Again, you want to see some more hits out of some guys. Again, Lindor with not a great night. He did have that sac fly. Other than that, leading off, he was 0 for 2 there with a walk. Alonso at 0 for 5 spot. Alvarez 0 for 4 spot. Beatty, who's been doing really well, 2 for 4 on that day. And then, as I mentioned, McNeil's first home run of the season, but batting 105 on the year right now. So McNeil, not great nonetheless. You enjoy the win. I don't know, man. We'll see. Moving on to Saturday, though. This is the Sevy start here. Same deal, by the way, dude. Look, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks.
Sign of positivity.
Sign of positivity again. I think came out, dialed in, hammering the fastballs right away.
More movement this time?
Yeah, I guess so. I think maybe just more control, honestly.
Okay.
I think what I saw, because again, we talked about his first start, the adrenaline, hammering the fastball, getting kind of tired, losing his off speed. I think he was just more settled in,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this was the 6-9 loss, where your bullpen absolutely blew it. But I'll take you through some of the scoring, Brian, because it happened again pretty early and often, as we see too. Of course, the runs that Sevy gave up were in the bottom of the 2nd. You had Candelario score there on a fielding error by McNeil. Actually, we've bobbled the ball. I don't know, dude. Again, I just think someone McNeil. I don't want to say I smell a rat. But the guy, we know, we've talked about this, Brian. I mean, he just doesn't have a great headspace, okay? Like, his mental game isn't phenomenal. You see it visually from on the field when he bugs out, striking out, the faces, whatever. And look how he started the season off with the whole Reese Hoskins thing, and now he's errors in the field, not batting well. I mean, he's just got to figure it out, dude. He has to take a deep breath and settle down, all right? Because, again, this guy had the bat intel 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He just seems so, tight.
Needs just like a change of scenery.
Maybe that's it.
I mean, wouldn't you kind of welcome that if it's like, I don't know, you're getting something valuable back, right?
Certainly. And yeah, at this point too, he's just, you talk about someone who's not started the season off right.
Yeah.
Like
after a 4
year, last season. So, and again, I mean, like his seems like his attitude and mentality just is not right now. Nonetheless, Mets go down 2-0 early. Top of the 4th, though, you had Narvaez with an RBI single there. to score Beatty and Marte, who were both on base. I believe this is the game where there were no home runs. But anyway, on top of that, then after that same inning, Nimmo RBI double. It scored Narvaez and McNeil, who's on base. And then, of course, top of the fifth there, you had Taylor, who's been killing it with an RBI double of his own. Again, yet another instance here where top of the ninth, Beatty tried to score. Who got an RBI, tried to get something going, didn't though. And again, I mean, the Mets score 6 runs, most runs scored all season. You want to blame someone? You can blame Johan Ramirez, I suppose, who is the relief guy who came in for the 8th and 9th. Got absolutely popped in the 8th, giving up 5 runs, dude. Again, I mean, this guy came over from Pittsburgh. He lasted 2 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and gave up a home run as well in the 8th. I don't know, man. We've seen this guy a couple times in spring training. I don't really like him. I don't really like our bullpen either. I don't like Diekman. He gave up 2 runs as well in the 7th, I believe, or the 6th inning. And again, our bullpen, we'll get to the bullpen on Sunday, but I mean, at this point, we can almost complete like overhaul, to be honest. And Ramirez, I mean, he just had no location. I mean, leaving sinkers hanging over the middle of the plate, 4-seam fastball hanging over the middle of the plate, dude. And it's just like, you do that, like,
would you just cut him right now if it was you?
Probably, honestly,
like,
dude.
What are you doing here?
I want to say Candelario, leadoff hitter, walked him in the 7th. Like, you'd never,
it is amazing though, like, because you just think, okay, well, it doesn't happen every time, but it really does feel like every time the leadoff hitters walk, always score,
get popped, dude. Yeah, I don't get it, and it's
pressure, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, clearly something's wrong. If the leadoff batter is walking, it's your first appearance too, like in the game. It's not like he's been in for a few innings, like first couple pitches of the game, dude. Like, not good ever. So Mets go on to lose that one 9-6. Again, I feel like this game was more so of the Mets we saw last year, where they score a lot of runs, but their starter doesn't go the distance and their bullpen blows it for them. So again, we talked about their bullpen all offseason. And then he really didn't add much, dude, honestly, to the bullpen. So there's that. Moving on, though, to Sunday, Sean Manaea, who's pitched well in terms of not, limiting runs here. But again, another pitcher, 5 innings, dude. Like a combined 15 and a third innings for your starters over the weekend. Like, that's not good, dude.
Why? Like, what is it? Is it not enough control? I mean, 59 out of 92 pitches strikes. I mean, I guess
that's not that great, I suppose. But again, I mean, I feel like, Manaea is not, again, I would say as compared to Quintana, I guess maybe he has, better stuff, like his sinker is good. His 4-seam fastball is good, dude.
I because going into the year, Quintana, but I actually think he's actually not bad because he did have that good stretch.
Quintana, he's already
right. Or you're saying you think Manaea is better?
I think Manaea is honestly a slightly better.
The left-handed batters, the fastball. What is it's 95, 96?
96, yeah. Okay. I feel like Quintana though, his stuff is just way more hittable than
because he's 89, 90.
Yeah, dude. His 4-seamer is like 92, dude. It's just like and his off-speed pitches, like, again, like, there's nothing crazy happening there, But again, Manaea, again, like some better stuff. He has like almost the same pitch selection, but gives up less hits, obviously more strikeouts. At the end of the day, 1 earned run, love that. 2 walks, so struggling a little bit with the control, but nothing terrible. You mentioned 59 strikes out of the 92 pitches. But again, I mean, all these pitchers are in the mid to high 90s come the 5th inning. Like that's got to stop,
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you throwing so many pitches? You got to figure that out. And then, of course, here, your bullpen showed up huge here. Lopez came in for the 6th inning, got 2 strikes. I will say, though, one instance where he did walk the leadoff batter and then got back-to-back strikeouts and then like a fly out, dude. He is solid. We saw Brooks really pop in here. Again, 1 inning, no strikeouts, but no damage done. Love to see that. Adam Ottavino, 2nd appearance from him, or I think 3rd.
Yeah, I think it is
his third because he gave up a couple of runs against Detroit, I want to say. And now we see him in Cincy. Came in looking good, though. 12-pitch inning, got 2 strikeouts. And then Diaz also, in the top of the 9th there, 2 Ks for him. He has been hammering his slider, by the way, coming in around 89, 90. And that off-speed pitch is getting him a lot of strikeouts, a lot of swing and misses.
The slider
dude.
sometimes, though, a hard slider.
Yeah,
we've seen some elbow injuries pop up over the weekend, huh? Strider and Bieber out for the year.
Kind of crazy, dude. Really tight about
Yuri
that.
Perez out for the year as well.
Really, Perez too.
Left-handed. Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. For Diaz, maybe not so much.
Big deal for Strider, though. I mean, for
yeah,
Atlanta.
that is huge for Atlanta. I mean, they're gonna have some issues there, I think, because you got Morton there. I'm sure we'll get into it because I think the Mets are playing the Braves next. But it should be interesting what they do. I mean, they always kind of bounce back off of injuries and stuff like that. But that does suck for Strider. Again, I think he was my Cy Young finalist.
Definitely. He had gotten off to a good start in spring training, but actually struggled because I think the elbow was acting up. And I guess he was pitching through it. Shane Bieber, the injury-riddled season last year, had got to a great start. I think 20 strikeouts over his first 12 innings pitched.
Such a shame, dude.
You think there has to be something different done with just the strategy of these pitchers, the way they're handled, because there's way too many injuries, and it just it's unfortunate. You watch these games, you want to see the best guys out there.
Do you think? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're just going to not be throwing as hard?
Maybe not as often. I feel like these and just like the work, they're just overworked.
Yeah.
Whether it's off season, you know what I mean. So just somehow they could just tone that back and just not put it like. Maybe just eliminate the radar guns.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. Like, because if you think about it, radar gun doesn't really matter.
No.
It's like the eye test should be able to tell you. And if you're just focusing on the radar gun, a lot of times it's going to lead you to make the wrong decision.
Yeah, no, very true.
So kind of interesting. I did see the one, the only Matthew Gabriel is in the building here.
No kidding. Yes, he says, dude. Muchachos. Great week for the ball clubs in New York, dude. Weekend, excuse me. And it was, dude.
New York. By the way, I was just texting with Corey. We're talking about the game tomorrow. And we were saying like, next time we'll. Speaking of which, got you guys in the calls on the speakers.
That is sick, dude.
But we were saying that we're gonna go Billy's the Terrace tomorrow before the game.
Got it, dude.
Because it's 70, Tony, on that terrace. Are you kidding?
You doing straight jersey? No, nothing underneath.
Maybe honestly. Do we have a camera situation?
Looks like the battery may be dying here.
I mean, you need me to handle it for a second, or I didn't.
Like you want to change the battery? Or?
No, I'm saying, do you want to?
No, I
was
should.
offering my services. I mean, I could go on.
I'm gonna get up.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just really excited for the game tomorrow. And like I said, it's been encouraging with Rodon. I think the one thing I would like to see with him is just to get deeper into the game, give the bullpen a break. Because we definitely have had to go to the bullpen a lot to start this season. Fortunately, they've done a great job, and we hadn't talked about it on this show. We talked about it off air, but the fact that Loaizaga, the UCL, adding to the list of injuries with pitching. So of course, Loaizaga, he looked great in his couple outings, so it's tough that he's going to miss the season, but we just do such a good job with these relievers. So it is just a next man up scenario, and also we can't forget that at some point this year. We're not only going to get Lou Trevino, but also Scott Efros back in the mix. So those are guys that have been, high leverage relievers before. So I think the combination of them and just some pickups will get us through. And also Dennis Santana, I know, he, didn't do well when we were at the game on Friday, but pitched very well yesterday. A good sinker, Tony. So could be kind of that next guy that is part of the Matt Blake reclamation project here, where we get these guys really performing a lot better than they had prior to joining the Yankees. So while the Loaizaga news isn't good, not really overly concerned, just because, like I said, we have the other guys in place to fill those voids. And I think you were through the Mets recap, right?
Yeah, basically just, Lindor got his first dinger of the season. He's batting under 100 right now.
The Lonnie sending me the side-by-side with Volpe, the WAR. So, I mean, we've talked about the great Lindor in the last couple of years.
This is like by far, like definitely like the worst start he's had as a Met. I mean, it's by far his worst start he's had in his entire career. But again, I mean, you would imagine there's a bounce back too. Again, 2 for 5 on Sunday with the dinger, feeling pretty good. He was electric, dude. So, I mean, I don't know. He's got to pick it up, dude. A lot of people on the I mean, it's just honestly like it's so annoying. That like the bats really haven't been consistently there. I mean, I don't
And
know.
we thought they would be. We thought it would be the opposite.
I know we literally thought the opposite, where it's just at least they would have the offense going and obviously figure out the pitching scenario. But it seems to be both as a huge issue. And I don't know, man. I mean, you're looking at some of the guys that got off to a hot start. Alvarez is doing great. Brett Beatty. I mean, the both of them, honestly, in tandem,
But that's
are working
awesome
so
for you that
well.
it's young guys.
Yeah.
They're the guys that are producing.
No, yeah, really. But like everyone else, Alonso kind of first couple games was all right. But again, like we mentioned over the weekend, 0 for 4 spot. Like you can't be doing that, dude. Consistently he's doing this too. And you were mentioning McNeil and Marte seems to get on base a lot. Tyrone Taylor, I think, has been a little bit of a surprise, coming from the Brewers there. But I don't know, man. I'm feeling like a lot of these guys are just looking at pitches.
Yeah.
Like they're just
predetermined even.
Maybe either predetermined or just not being able to recognize what the pitch is. So they're just kind of staring at it, expecting it to move when it's a fastball in the up in the zone or something. But it's not, I don't know. Like, last year was a lot of swing and misses. It just seems like that they're staring at these pitches right now.
And listen, I mean, I know nobody like looks at a season, especially in April, and it's just like, maybe it would be the best thing for us, if we were to, have a rebuilding year and kind of figure out moving forward, who's the core of our team. But to be honest, I really think that is the best case scenario for the Mets because I think it'll show that guys like Jeff McNeil, are not the future of this team. You know what I mean? If you could really sort out who's going to be with you going forward, is Alonso in the picture or not? I just almost think like them being forced to sell at the trade deadline will be the best thing for this organization moving forward because I just think even everything going right, I think it'll still be a struggle for them to get into the postseason this year if you don't sell.
Oh yeah,
off,
dude. And I'm pretty sure JD Martinez is, dude, he's fucking washed up, it seems. Honestly,
was struggling in AAA.
I
have him on my
I think he was batting okay, but he's like took a couple of days off for just general soreness or something, dude. Like, I don't know, man.
Jeez, I didn't see that. Now you're bugging me out. I mean, luckily my team went 13-0 in this other league.
And he's not gonna be brought up yet. Like, he's not getting brought up.
I know because there's this news bite, and of course, it's not loading. But I'm looking it up. Maybe snag with the Wi-Fi.
It could be.
Okay, so let's see. Dealing with body soreness, won't participate in baseball activities for 2 days. And he was supposed to join this series, but they could go versus the Royals on Friday.
Yeah, dude.
Jeez, but I don't know. He's a professional. I mean, if he just gets this stuff together, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll see, dude. I mean, he's coming into an absolute shit show, so
But the future, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, Tony, I know you don't see it, but I really think getting a king's ransom for Alonso at the deadline is the best thing for this team.
it may have to be at this point now.
I mean, you're almost more in favor of it.
Bad,
if it's
dude.
like 2, like maybe 5 prospects overall and 2 top 5 prospects in an organization, maybe both pitchers. I mean, would you almost want all of the return to be pitching?
Almost all of it, dude.
So, I mean, I'm telling you that'll jumpstart things.
Because think about it, if we have that and Hell, right, in the minors, also we have Drew Gilbert too as well, and we have our own prospects. I mean,
you just need to load up on it, and it's great that like Gleb Beatty gets 700 at bats this year.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
So be interesting to see. We'll cover their matchup with the Braves in our frenzy. But speaking of which, it is time.
Wow, dude.
For a baseball frenzy.
Okay, there, Brian. Where is it? There it is. Here I am. Here we go.
Oh gosh, darn it.
We gotta do a bunch of freaking. We gotta figure out.
That'll probably be a tomorrow catch up.
Oh
last time,
gosh,
just
dude! All right.
Like,
Here we go. April 8th. It's gonna be the day of the eclipse for baseball. 6:05. Excuse me. Never mind. 5:10. Early and often here. ESPN Plus. You have the Cleveland Guardians hosting your Chicago White Sox at Progressive Field. Cleveland minus 225 here on the money line, Brian. Over under is going to be set at 7.5. You have Tristan McKenzie getting his possibly second start of the season, I believe, against the Chicago White Sox, undecided. So far, you have Paul DeJong leading the White Sox with 2 home runs. First time, obviously, these two teams are playing each other here. The Guardians, we know, coming off of a 4-game win streak. What do you got?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I think it's a trap. Oh, let me just throw the house on Cleveland. Chicago sucks. I don't know. It just, baseball's funny like that. It's kind of interesting start time as well.
Yeah, right?
But I think the White Sox get a win here. I'm embarrassed after, getting swept by the Royals. And I think they get the bats going. Maybe Luis Robert, Tony, with 2 home runs. I'm going to say White Sox 7-5 over the Guardians.
That is tough, dude. The over-unders, I mean, you want to look at some of these games from both squads, seem to be going every other, almost on the over, almost on the under. I don't know. I say give me Guardians. I think McKenzie dials it down, dude. Strikes out 8 and goes 6 scoreless innings. And whoever the White Sox puts out there probably gets popped. I don't know. Give me Guardians winning 5-3. So Guardians and the over, Brian. Next game here. We're jumping now to 6:05 p.m. It is the Yankees in the stadium here at the Bronx, hosting the Miami Marlins. You said it before. Nestor Cortez against Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo, someone who struggles with location and has had 4 walks so far over the course of a couple starts, but 13 Ks. So the strikeout stuff seems to be there. Miami, of course, we know just got their first win of the season against the Cardinals, 10-3. Yankees have won 2 in a row here. So what do you got?
Let's make it 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And like I said, Nestor, if not now, when? Let's hope he does what you said, the 6 innings, the 2 earned, maybe 6 strikeouts, maybe Stanton, 3rd game in a row with a dinger, and Judge. Let's go. 3 for 4 for Judge with a home run as well. And I think this slightly goes under. Yankees win 6-2.
I really couldn't agree more. I guess give me a little different. Give me Yankees in the over. Why not? Let's get crazy here. I say Nestor, I mean, maybe 2 earned runs there. Yankees, though, score 8.
Stanton again?
Stanton, 2 solo shots.
He's back.
Back, dude. Yankees go on to win 8-2. Bang. Next game up still in the 6 o'clock hour at 6:40 p.m. We're going to be in Pittsburgh, PNC Park, as you have Mitch Keller on the mound for the Pirates. That'll put Pittsburgh at -125 on the day, over under 8.5. Reese Olson gets the nod there for Detroit. Detroit showed some bright spots, I guess you can say, against the Mets earlier this season, but they have dropped 2 in a row here to Oakland, who we know will be playing somewhere in California now. But the Pirates, Sacramento, on a 2-game win streak. You think Mitch Keller has what it takes to bolster my fantasy team?
Oh, yes. Gosh darn it, Tony. Keller, 6 scoreless. Pirates, O'Neal Cruz, Brian Hayes have got good starts. Maybe Brian Reynolds hits a 2-run homer. But I think the Pirates are going to win this game by the final score. What do we got?
Over to 8.5.
8.5. We're going to say Pirates win 5-3.
Wow, so just on the under. Wow, dude. I couldn't agree more. Mitch Keller, full game shutout, dude, by Mitch Keller. Pirates go on. O'Neal Cruz, solo shot in the 5th. Michael Taylor, maybe an RBI stand-up double. They win 3-0. Next game up, I believe still, in the 6:40 p.m. time slot. We're going to go to Cincinnati as the Reds take on the Brewers. Oh, wow. Our guy, Graham Ashcraft, getting the start for the Reds against Aaron Ashby there for the Brewers. Over under at a high 9.5, Brian. Let's see. Cincinnati's -110 here. Both teams -110 on the money line. Yelich so far, 3 home runs, batting .308 with 4 ribbies through his first 8 games. Brewers have yet to lose a game on the road, coming off that 12-4 victory against Seattle. Do the Reds go down in Cincy tonight?
Reds win 10-9.
Stop it.
Ellie De La Cruz, walk-off 3-run homer, bottom of the 9th.
Wow, dude. You said what's the score?
10-9.
10-9 on the over, dude. Give me Brewers winning this game. I think Yelich, Dinger, Contreras has been killing it too. We know that he freaking hit so well against the Mets. In terms of the over/under, I guess give me the over. Ashcraft and Ashby get absolutely popped. Ashiness over there. I say Brewers win, I don't know, 8-5. Next game up here, going to a 7:07 time slot as Toronto, the Blue Jays take on the Seattle Mariners. You have Luis Castillo pitching for the Mariners. Could get ugly quick over there, Toronto for them, as Jose Barrios pitches for them. Over/under is 7.5. Toronto favorite here, -120. Both teams kind of on the struggle bus at 4-6. I believe, this is Toronto's home opener. So what do you say? Some fire?
Disappointing start for both teams in the early going. So I think this lack of offense for Toronto, I think, does them in once again. I think Seattle wins this battle through 4-2. Julio Rodriguez, first inning, grand slam.
Wow,
even though he probably doesn't bat fourth. So let's say it was in the fifth inning. All right?
How about that? All right. I would say, I know the Blue Jays probably going to lose home opener. Give me Seattle and the over. I think both pitchers get popped, honestly. I think you can see Springer, Turner sitting down actually today, but probably even Kirk gets his first home run, the big boy. And the Mitch Haniger, though, top of the ninth, solo shot for some no-name bullpen guy in Toronto. They go on to win 5-4. That's right. So give me Blue Mariners and the over, buddy. Next game here, 7:20 p.m. We're going to Atlanta as the Braves take on the Mets, dude. So tough to see this matchup nowadays. The 3-6 Mets here playing the 6-2 Braves. You know who's going to be favored. Atlanta -200. Over/under 10.5. The Braves honestly could score that on their own, as you have Julio Teheran getting the start there for the Mets, and Charlie Morton getting his second start for the Braves there. The Braves just swept the Diamondbacks. We know the Mets have found a little bit of themselves against Cincinnati. What do you think's happening here, Brian?
Teheran, the tribute video as well. I think Uncle Charlie, maybe a little cooler night in Atlanta, back flares up a little bit. Give me the Mets. Why not? Look decent in Cincinnati. Maybe just an off night for Atlanta. Give me the Mets here, 4-3.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. The Braves scored like 21 runs in the series against Arizona. I don't think the Mets have done that yet this season, dude. I mean, they probably have, but still.
Maybe not.
Honestly, maybe not, dude. I say give me the Braves and the over here. I think Braves win this one. The Mets will keep it interesting, but the bullpen will probably blow it. Braves win this one, 8-5.
You're gonna be pissed if the Mets win for the pick segment on this one.
I know, I am going to be pissed, but I am taking the Braves here, dude. Next game, Brian seems a little surprised at that one, dude.
A little bit.
7:40 p.m. here, Minnesota, the Twins taking on the Dodgers. Minnesota +120, the home dogs there. Tickets as low as $10, by the way. Over/under 8.5 as Bailey Ober gets his second start of the season. Obviously, his first start didn't go too well, but James Paxton gets his second start. 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, and 5 walks in his first start, which is pretty interesting for the Dodgers. What do you think? Both teams coming off of losses.
Yeah, Dodgers lost 2 out of 3 in Chicago, but I think they'll bounce back here. Jimmy Paxton, maybe 5 1/3, striking out 7. And maybe the gambler himself with a couple dingers. We'll say Dodgers 8-4 in Minnesota.
The gambler himself, dude. Love the score, 8-4 for the Dodgers. So that's obviously the over. I think Mookie Betts has a couple dingers tonight. Maybe a dinger and an RBI double. And I do like Ohtani. He's my utility man in fantasy. Give me 2 dingers from him as well. He's going to be batting practice for Ober. And I say Dodgers in the over too. Yeah, let's say 6-4. Why not? 6-3. Doesn't matter. Hit me over. Next game, 7:45 now as the Cardinals. Coming off a tough loss to Miami at 5-5 here. They're going to be playing the Phillies at Busch Stadium here. Seattle minus 110. You have Miles Mikolas on the mound for them. Spencer Turnbull gets the start for Philadelphia, dude. Both teams coming off of losses. The Cards, I mentioned 5-5. The Phillies are 4-5. Over-under, as I mentioned, is 8.5. What do you got here, Brian?
Mikolos batting practice, honestly. Maybe
Yeah.
Harper goes deep. I think the Phillies win this one 6-2, which would be
Under.
Under, yes. So Phillies in the under.
I like Phillies. Gosh, I hate going chalk, but I don't know. I think Spencer will do a decent job. Give me Phillies in the under. You took the under too, didn't you? Damn it, dude. Yeah, whatever. Give me Phillies in the under. 5-2 Phillies. Let's go. Next game. Doesn't matter. 8:40. No, 8:05 p.m. Texas, baby. The Battle of Texas as the Rangers are taking on the Astros here. The Rangers plus money at home. They're plus 115 as they intend to beat the Astros by starting Andrew Heaney, who has a 1.93 ERA on the season so far. Framber Valdez gets his start for the Stros there at 2.19 ERA. Over under at 9.5. Little high, honestly, if you ask me. Rangers, I guess they're doing back-to-back series. Pretty interesting. Over the weekend, the Rangers beat the Astros 2 games in that 3-game set, which I guess, it's kind of weird they're doing that. But nonetheless here, what do we got?
Yeah, you never see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Houston, I want to sound the alarm for Houston. So give me the Rangers here. Give me Heaney. Maybe he strikes out 9 over 5 1/3. And Marcus Semien, 5 hits in this one. A romping 12-3 over Houston.
I love the Semien on my fantasy team, but I also have Jose Altuve. And I'm going to say Heaney's pitched well, but I think the Astros get to him here. Altuve with a couple dingers himself. Valdez easily, I think, can go maybe 6 1/3, 2 earned runs, something like that. Probably striking out 7. Give me the Stros winning this game. I'm going to say 4-3. So Astros and the under, dude. Let's go next game up. Where are we? There we are. We're in Colorado here. Last 4 games of the night as the Rockies take on the D-backs. D-backs coming off a tough loss. I believe they got swept, by the Braves on the road. They're 0-3 on the road so far, but they'll be in Colorado. And ooh, baby, are the Rockies 2-8. They suck. Kyle Freeland also sucks pitching for Colorado. Zach Gallen, good pitching for the Diamondbacks. I mean, could this get ugly quick?
Yes. I think this really gets the Diamondbacks going. This series, this is a sweep. Diamondbacks show why they're in the World Series last year. I'm going to say Christian Walker benefiting my fantasy team. 3 dingers in this one. How about a Ketel Marte cycle? And how about the Diamondbacks? 14-6 at Coors Field.
Absolutely love that. Hammering that over of 10.5 there. I couldn't agree more. Honest, I think the D-backs would score 10 on their own, sure. Give me the D-backs win this one 10-2. Zach Gallen, very happy with a good pitching performance. Next game up here now. We're going to be in Anaheim, as the Angels take on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Surprisingly competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. The Angels, who are at 4-4 here, 1-2 on the road. They are surprisingly competitive because of one pitcher, Tyler Anderson, who's pitched very well so far this season, not even giving up a run over his first 7 innings pitched. He's going to go up against Zach Eflin there for Tampa Bay. Are you going with the Angels, dude?
Angels ride the wave here. Maybe Tampa taking a step back this year. I'm going to say Angels win 3-2. Mike Trout, walk-off home run.
I don't know, man. Angels coming off that tough 12-2 loss against Boston. Give me Tampa Bay. Give me the over. They win 8-6, dude. Yandy Diaz with 3 RBIs, dude. Next game. Last 2 games here. Last 2 games here. We're going to go San Diego. The Padres taking on the Cubs here at Petco Park. San Diego minus 135 at home here. Yu Darvish getting another start on the season so far through 15 2/3 innings pitched. He has an ERA of 2.3. Fanning 16 batters. The Cubs, on the other hand, have Javier Assad, dude, starting over under 7.5. As I mentioned, the Padres minus 135 here at home. What do you got, Brian?
Yeah, give me the Padres. Disappointing start to this season, but this is where the ship turns around in the right direction. I think they get there some runs on the board. Hughes settles down the Cubs early, maybe strikes out 12 over 6, and the Diamondbacks win. We're gonna say 6-3. That's Diamondbacks.
The Padres, Padres. Yeah, 6-3. So Padres in the over. I do like that, dude. Yeah, give me Padres in the over as well. I think you will pitch well. Tatis Jr. from my fantasy team. It's a dinger of his own. His 4th of the season. He's batting .289 with 6 ribbies. Love that stat line for him. Jackson Merrill, by the way, who I believe was my pick for Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
324 batting average so far, striking 471. Love to see that. So give me Padres in the over there. Next game, last game, best game, probably not. 9:45 p.m. San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park playing the Nationals. Once again, seems like this guy's starting every day. Trevor Williams for the Nationals here.
Blake Snell.
They're getting his first start for the Giants here.
Standing ovation.
At home. Absolutely. I think he's going to be absolutely rocked. Could be a complete game. Shut up. What do you see, though?
I see the Giants winning 10-0 here. I think Jorge Soler will deposit one into McCovey Cove. And Blake Snell standing O as he walks off the mound after 5 2/3 scoreless innings pitched.
Love that. I'll do you a little bit better for Snell. 6 innings, scoreless. Throws about 92 pitches. Fans 8, maybe 9. Feels good about himself. Trevor Williams, I can't see this guy lasting 4 innings. Give me 3 2/3, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 7 hits, dude. Atrocious. Washington loses here. I don't know. I'll give him like 8-2.
8-2.
Bang.
And that is your baseball frenzy.
Those baseball frenzies, man.
I know they take a lot of it. A lot of you. Next thing you know, you're just running through the Rangers really quick like this. Prefer back in the building talking about you betting against the Mets. I don't care if it's the Braves. #bad juju. Heck, man.
You know what, dude? It wouldn't be the first time that I bet against the Mets for our pick segment. And I mean, you know what, dude? If you want to blame someone, blame the Mets. Okay, be better. Give me more confidence.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tony's disgruntled. You should be too. Prefer.
Yeah, really.
I'm sure you're focusing on some negative thing about the Yankees. Which, listen, there's nothing negative right now. So keep digging. Okay. Josh B. Missed all show. Fucking meeting. But luckily for Josh, the show is available 24/7 on a variety of outlets, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, also known as X, as well as Instagram, Twitch,
Facebook.
Anywhere you need it, we're there, Josh B. You know that. But we are up against it. But obviously, just want to mention the Rangers last night tying a franchise record of 53 wins. So keeping tabs there, winning 2 over the weekend. Also had that win against the Detroit, which was nice. A nice comeback victory there, and also a comeback victory last night as well. And then was it tying or moving ahead? Mika, the power play goals with Rod Gobert. I don't know if you saw that on it.
I thought he tied it.
Okay, he might have tied it. I think he did tie it. But nice to see Mika with 2 goals. You know, we had talked about all season him possibly being too ripped out there and just not having the same type of speed that we had seen in the past years. But to get, another 2 goals here, it does feel like, of recent, he has been on a heater. Now is up to 26 goals on the season, a power play and a 5-on-5 goal last night. Laffy had his 27th as well. Panarin 46. Doesn't even seem
crazy,
real
dude.
saying it.
It really is.
It really is ridiculous. Also 69 assists as well. And Igor, a great performance there. 26 of 28 in net. Just a lot to like, regarding the Rangers right now. And I'm just so excited for the playoffs. There's been a lot of shuffling with the standings. I think what are we 2 points ahead of Boston now, right? For that,
I believe we're 2 points ahead when we have the same amount of games played.
no more game in hand.
We have
Tony.
3
That was
points.
a big one for you last week.
That
game
was
in
we have a game in hand, Brian, but no more. And by the way, it was Chris Kreider with that tip-in goal.
No, and Mika's up there too. It's
Oh,
like
really?
both of them all-time lists are up there because they were
No
talking
kidding.
about how like they're close to one another.
But it looks like Kreider moved him past Gobert for second most in franchise history.
That's
and Kreider has 5 goals his last 6 games. How about that?
What is
dude?
it now for him? Is it 30? I was just had this up. Is it 38?
37?
Or is it 36?
Hold on, stand by.
But the fact too that you could have 2. If he picks up a couple more goals here, to have 2 guys scoring 40 goals,
40 burger
would be ridiculous.
38.
Wow.
Which he's gonna reach 40 for sure. And then also I think Panarin, who knows? Sky's the limit with him. I think he's on a 7-game point streak right now too. He's just been absolutely on fire. Right now specifically, obviously we know he's been on fire all season. 4 points last night, 5 shots on goal too, 115 points. Ridiculous, dudes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm so pumped for the playoffs, and it's a shame because of the collapse of Torts' Flyers. Right now, we're out of position for that Rangers Islanders series. Right now, we'd be playing Detroit, but actually Pittsburgh seemingly back from the dead since they beat us. But then you also have Washington right there as well. This baby's going down to the last game.
It really is. And Washington, again, you talk about 2 teams that shot themselves in the foot. Flyers and the Caps, great position. Caps as well have 6 in a row. Flyers, you mentioned the 7 in a row. Torts tight. Complete implosion from both teams there. And you said it. The Penguins, they've won 4 games in a row now. Still, obviously, even though there's not a lot of hockey games left, there still is a lot of hockey to be played and figured out for sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Islanders slip into the 3rd spot, the Metropolitan. Like, how crazy is that? They've won themselves 4 games here, winning 6 out of the last 10 games, which is great. Which is kind of crazy. Again, another team too. Talk about the Capitals, their point differential. The Islanders are in the playoffs with a minus 23 point differential. I think there's never been a team with a negative point differential make the playoffs. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they talked about on Rick and Dave.
And I have a hard time thinking there was 2 teams with 15 overtime losses in the playoffs as well, right?
Honestly, at that point, right?
Not happened.
Definitely not.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting here.
Yeah.
Really, it would be nice to match up with Detroit. Obviously, if we did get, the Penguins or the Capitals, it makes it a little more interesting. But obviously, I think we want the Flyers or the Red Wings or the Islanders. I think that would be our choice of the litter there. But I do want to see the Islanders in the playoffs, even though probably the Hurricanes are going to just absolutely destroy them, you would think.
Yeah.
Like possibly a sweep.
Probably a sweep.
Possibly, dude. Tony.
And I guess you're right. I wouldn't mind Detroit, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not nervous. The other one's not that I'm nervous, but you know what I mean? It's like you got to be on your toes.
Be on your toes too. Larkin is great. They have Patrick Kane.
No, I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about Washington.
Washington. Oh my gosh. Of course, dude. Of course. But I feel like
I'm not nervous about Detroit at all. Like 0%. Like 0%, I think that's a sweep. I think the Flyers are a sweep. And the Islanders might be a sweep as well, honestly.
Who are you more worried about, Pittsburgh or Washington? If you came down to those two,
right?
Yeah, me too. Definitely Washington.
So annoying. Michael Bunting would obviously be
Michael Bunting. Michael Buckta also be jacked up, dude.
Oh my god, yeah. So, Rangers play the Islanders tomorrow at UBS, so we'll definitely talk about that tomorrow.
Need that win.
Get some more hockey in. Obviously, we'll have more time tomorrow. Being that we don't have to talk about golf. I know there will be a little recap of the national championship game, but I don't think there'll be too much because I think, UConn will pull away as they have all season long. But let's see what happens. And Josh B showing why he's the best. And I will catch it, Tony. So when we talk about reliability, I think that defines Josh B, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, such a reliable man.
Yeah, unbelievable. Always there. So we appreciate that. As well as everybody else who continues to comment, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony Maga, Renee, and Jay in Costume. The old merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day. Enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees! And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.